Hello, this is Untitled Chapter with a new video. So this time we will have a look at how to use the free CarRig. You can download it by clicking on the link in the description of this video. And here is an example how an animation with this rig could look like. So as you can see, I'm using the Blender game engine to simulate some of these physics to make it look more realistic and such. But now let's have a look at the file itself. As you can see, we have here this rig on our first layer, and on our second layer we have all those physical elements. There will be very important later on to create an animation. On the third layer we have this simple car model here, and the constraints are already set up to follow the rig here on the first layer. So if you want to render it very quick, just activate the third layer here and you can render it. And on the fourth layer we have this car model here included. I modeled it a few weeks ago, and I thought it would be great if you could try the rig out on a more interesting model like this one here. So if you don't have your own car model, you can use this and try out how it works. But now let's have a look how to use this rig on a car model, and we're going to use this one right away. So first of all, we have to adjust the rig so the distance of the wheels matches the distance of the model. So select the layer with the model and the layer with the rig. You can just click on it, shift and left click on it to select both, and then move the car to the position where the rig is and turn it to the right, turn it in this direction, and make sure that the distance between the place where the wheel is and the distance between the place where the wheel should be is the same on this side as on this side. You don't have to be too exact here, just do it how it looks fine, so that should be about the right place. Then select the car rig and make sure you have all the layers selected here, and then go to the edit mode. Well, let's move the car very quick here to the right place. But now let's go to the edit mode with this rig, and then as you can see, now it looks very complex. You can't see anymore which part here is the front part and which is the back part. So what you have to do is, let's hide this ground plane very quick. What you have to do is go to the pose mode and select, and for example, the back wheels. Then go back to the edit mode, and as you can see, they're still selected, and now we know this here is the back part and this is the front part. Now go to this side view to see this rig from the side, and then go to the wireframe shading mode. You can do this by clicking here or clicking on the set key on the keyboard. Then click on the B key on the keyboard and select all the bones here in the back part. Just these here, and not this one or these here. So now in the pose mode we could see that this distance here is not great enough. We have to move the wheels, the back wheels, further into this direction, and these here into this direction. But it looks like it's about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 units here, 4 of these small units. So memorize the number of these small units and move the back part here 4 units backward. Now when you move these bones here 4 backwards, make sure you move the front this front part here forward by the same amount. So if you move this one 4 units backward here, you have to move this one 4 units forward. And as you can see, it looked like we got the right distance now. And now what can we do next? Let's do the animation part now. So here we have the first layer with the rig here, and I will unhide this plane again so we can see it. So we have the rig here and the ground here, and on the second layer we have these physical elements. To make this rig here move around, we need to simulate these here. So go to the top view and select the wireframe shading, and then let's go to the game engine and start simulating these objects. But first of all, decide on if you just want to try out how the physics work here, or if you already want to record it, because if that box here is checked on, you will record the animation and it's not very easy to remove those recorded animations later on. So if you just want to try driving around, uncheck that and hit P to get into the to the game engine, and then try driving around and do whatever you want. So and then escape to stop the animation. But let's start recording now. So go to record animation here and then start the game engine again and drive this cube here around with the arrow keys. And as you can see, this rig works very good on drifting cars, but not really for cars that are just rolling on a street very slow, or one of those things. But if you want to get that drifting sport car effect, I think this rig works really well. So when you stop the Blender game engine here by using the escape key, you can see that the animation is recorded now. If you hit Alt A, the cube falls and everything. But I just noticed that the frame rate was set to 250. That shouldn't be like that. So let me very quick delete that animation again for all of these objects. Okay, I resetted everything again, all these animations. Now the problem is that normally computers are running much faster than this one here. So if you select record animation, the game engine will run as fast as the computer can. So normally at 25 frames per second, this car is in the game engine so fast that you can't control it anymore. That's why I set the frames per second amount to such a high value. But now I'm recording my screen, and that's taking a lot of power, and my CPU is can't let's say focus on simulating this thing here. So that's why it works for me pretty good right now. But as you can see, it's still much faster than the version we had earlier. But if you have the same problem that it's way too fast in the Blender game engine when you record it, set that to, I don't know, 250 frames per second, and then when you stop recording, go here to the graph editor, select all objects here, and then scale all of this. You can do that by going to the first frame, then select here pivot point, the 2D cursor, and then hit the S key and scale along the x-axis, and then you can, as you can see, I can scale it around now, but we don't need to do that. So yeah, just I'll leave it just as it is right now. But as you can see, I recorded everything now, and this here is the car object itself. This here is the rotation of the wheels, and these here are somehow this here is the steering and the balance. I don't know how to describe it, but as you can see on the first layer, the car started to move around. I will make the preview longer than 300 frames very quick, so now you can see 500 frames in animation. And yeah, as you can see, it works quite good, and when you change something here at this ground plane, it doesn't matter, the CarRig will work fine, and it does the job for you, so you don't have to animate each object on its own. But yeah, now when you make the third layer visible, you can see here is that car object I was talking about. It's moving with the rig. So as I told you already, if you want to render that and try it out, just render it, and as you can see with the third layer you can see a car. But the next thing we need to do here in this project is to make the car on the fourth layer move with this rig. So you can do that by going to the, make sure you are at the first frame, that makes everything easier. Then select the car and add a constraint here, and let's start with the copy location constraint. Then select here the CarRig and select the bone body. Now as you can see, the car is already moving with this bone and everything looks fine. And if you have the problem that it's not exactly at the right place, you can select the car model, go to the edit mode and move it to the place you want it to be. When you go back to the object mode, you can see that it's working now at the right position. But anyways, the next thing we have to do is to copy the rotation of the rig. So go to copy rotation, select again the CarRig and then the body bone, and as you can see, it works as it should, and yeah, everything looks fine. Now you could render it just as it is right now, but there are a few more things I want to tell you. For example, a sport car isn't really behaving like that. This looks more like I don't know, something like a Range Rover or a car that doesn't lean very much into these directions. Sorry for my bad English, but I'm doing the best I can to say everything in English. Now, what I actually want to tell you is, as you can see, we have on our second layer this object here. And as you can see, when we move that around, the car here in the background is leaning forward, backward, to the left side, to the right side. And the amount of this affecting the car can be changed by selecting a specific bone. It's this one here, and now you can change the amount of influence here, or if you want it to affect the car stronger, you have to change these values here. For example, at the moment the maximum is 5 degrees plus or minus into each direction. You can change it. For example, let's make it 20, minus 20 to 20, here 20 to minus 20, and as you can see, it's still rotating to the right direction, but much more intense than it was earlier. So let's make this back to 5, 5, 5, and minus 5. Okay. Now that was this thing, and another thing is the wheels are rotating with the same speed as this cube here. Now this is just always at the same place and rotates and gives the information for this rig how much the wheels are spinning around, and you can change the amount by selecting the wheel, and here you can change this amount here. Now what this one says is how many degrees this wheel turns around while the object here in the second layer turns one time around. But it should work how it is. You won't see it very good anyways in the final result, because you should use that rig only in scenes where a car is moving very fast and such, and if you use motion blur and everything, nobody will see if the wheel isn't moving exactly with the same speed as the car is. So yeah, I think I've covered the most important things, and you need to know to use this rig. Of course you can improve it, it's not perfect and everything, so feel free to try to change things here, add things, and make sure to let me know if you've done a great animation with this. I'm really interested in your project, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.